Good times, great action.
Not so much of a good time for Jason Devine.
Yeah, he's definitely worse for wear right now. Referee calling for some help. Clearly, this is a troubling situation. But as we say in wrestling, the show must go on, and we are now going to continue to move forward while our referee tends to Jason Devine. But now we are joined once again by the Hoods.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what this is. A show of camaraderie by the Cash family.
I can't think of any camaraderie these men have ever had towards each other. I mean, these guys have beaten the hell out of each other for years and years.
But history is a funny thing, Zach. History is a funny thing. All I know is there's nothing funny about Shay Cash. When you get him in a bad mood, you get him motivated, you get him gearing towards something, it could be extremely dangerous.
You're not wrong, and despite the fact that his family is now, I guess, tending to Jason Devine, he's still got his game face on. He's still got that mean streak to him. There's a reason he's one of the most accredited competitors here in the RWA, has won just about every championship there is to win, and wants to ensure that his name continues to be at top status here tonight. Ever the confident is the heavy hitter, Shay Cash.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy that at one point in time was someone who was a floundering singles wrestler, got thrown in random mixed tags, random pairing tags. He's not that scared little boy anymore. You're talking about a man who stands on his own 2 feet, stands on every bit of business that the Cash family needs to attend to.
That's a big, heavy man right there, Bobby Rossi.
He's actually lost weight. If you can believe it.
He's still an intimidating force. And you know what? While this man doesn't have the size, he's certainly got the heart of a soon-to-be potential champion. As you just heard, the #1 contender to the RWA Championship come next month at Spectacle. Right there, the lost cause, John Steele. I mean, you'd say he might have drawn the short straw going up against Shay Cash, but he's got a lot of momentum after he won that gauntlet match at our last show.
100%, but I'll be honest with you, Zach, I feel as though this young man's momentum has been building ever since he re-emerged at the RWA, and that was a long time before that gauntlet match.
Well, we saw how he handled himself when he was the RWA Ocean State champion. The fans have come a little bit more around to John Steele over the past few months, and now potentially priming himself to take that next step, go over that next level and become the heavyweight champion. But hopefully he can get through Shay Cash as unscathed as possible. You got to make sure that you're in the best fighting condition if you want to be the champion.
I've watched John Steele compete now for the better part of 7-8 years. And he is developed in leaps and bounds compared to where he was back then. He's not just a popcorn vendor anymore, ladies and gentlemen. He is one to be reckoned with.
I remember those popcorn days, Rossi. I mean, hell, it's been 7 years since I started going to shows. Those same shows that John Steele was cutting his teeth on, and now he's here taking center stage on the RWA stage, trying his best to take down the size mass of Shay Cash.
I mean, a bold move right there, but, you know, when it comes to a single leg takedown, let me ask you this. In a wrestling match, in an MMA fight, do I have your leg or do you have both of my hands?
I think at this point, John Steele just thinks that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. If you can take out that vertical base of a guy like Shay Cash, it'll be a better night for you. But the power game of Shay Cash here cannot continue to be exploited if John Steele wants to have any chance of picking up the victory.
No, and to that point, I think John Steele has to fight more of his own fight as opposed to trying to fight his opponents.
He definitely has those long legs, so as long as he can hit strikes, and look at that, using the feet and going right towards that hamstring, if he can get these shots in from a distance and do damage, it's going to add up at the long run.
Very focused approach right here. John Steele unrelenting in that approach to the left knee, the attack to the left knee of Shay Cash. He continues to hurl himself. looking to create every bit of damage he can. And that top second rope, oh, right to the brainstem.
Just hitting whatever area he can. But Shay Cash ever the wiser to reverse that whip and catch the cross-body attempt of John Steele. But look at John Steele, had that scouted, able to slip off the shoulders. Now has Shay Cash trapped in the corner. Big uppercut to the jaw. And here, have a second. One more just because you cash. Shay Cash is getting rocked right now, and John Steele looking to put it away early.
Oh! Lands on his feet, but unwittingly runs into a lariat and is momentarily floored.
Living up to his name, that was one heavy hit from Shay Cash.
It certainly was.
And now right here, deliberately slowing this down, getting it to where he wants it to be. Shay Cash now turning about his fair play, has John Steele trapped in the corner. He's trying to fight as hard as he can to get out of there, but
just made him mad. That's all he did.
I think 3 of John Steele's chops equal only 1 of Shay's. That math does check out.
Here's the thing about John Steele that I've noticed that doesn't really change, or hasn't changed a lot over the years. If anything, he's perfected it. He knows how to create a large amount of velocity from a short amount of space. You give Steele that little bit of wiggle room, watch out. He's going to run at you with a truck.
He's very headstrong, and Shay Cash giving him a little bit too much room to breathe, in my opinion. But might have spoken too soon, because now he's just smothering him, choking him in the corner. The referee's got to maintain order here.
Well, it's been a long night for McDonald so far. I think it's going to continue to be one.
It's definitely going to be a long night for John Steele if this onslaught of offense from Shay Cash continues. And look at this. It's going right at the eyes. No remorse from Shay Cash here. Obviously, he's got to be upset that he's not the #1 contender after that gauntlet.
I feel as though the Cash family really, they've been upside down ever since they lost all the gold that they did have at one point.
We see the temper tantrums Cash Money be throwing around at the fact that he's not the RWA champion right now. And Shay Cash gloating like he is a champion in there. The
John Steele not so quick to get up.
He's trying to get back to his feet, trying to beat the referee's count. Shay Cash, you know he'll take the easy payday. Doesn't matter how he wins, it just matters that he wins.
I say that for a lot of guys on this roster.
But look at John Steele. Never say die from that kid. Back up to the apron and Shay Cash, like a predator, just go to stalk his man, drop him on the hardest part of the ring. There's my one, Rossi.
He did. He spiked him right on the perimeter. The frame of that ring has got no give to it, folks.
And now a lateral press. Look at that. He targeting that spinal area, dropped him on the apron, and put all of his weight across the sternum of John Steele, but he's still able to kick out.
And that's the thing about Shay Cash. We often paint him as just a brooder, a brawler and a brute with no brains. Such is not the case. He has had a focused approach and a focused attack ever since the opening bell, as has John Steele.
Who continued to try to go for that hamstring like he did earlier, but Shay Cash unfazed. John Steele not able to put as much as he wants to into his strikes, and it's allowing Shay Cash to continue to exploit his power over John Steele, dropping the elbow into that same sternum. Now wants to get into the press, but still not enough to get the victory. Just trying to use all the weight he has to keep John Steele down, and now just try to squeeze the life out of him at this point. Not much more you can do when the power's not working. Go to the graps.
And honestly, I think it's a smart choice on behalf of Cash to try to keep Steele isolated and grounded. You get Steele moving around, you get him flying, man. Things get wild.
Well, John Steele wants to go wild. He was trying to create separation, and once again just gets caught stiff in the chest by a chop from the heavy hitter. I don't know how much more of this John Steele can take, and I don't know how much is going to be left of John Steele going into Spectacle next month in his championship match.
I mean, this could be the long game that the Cash family is playing. I'm not too sure. But I did expect to see both Papa and Baby Cash out here throughout this matchup, and they get to be seen ever since helping Jason Devine into the back.
I can only imagine what they're doing with Jason back there, but we don't have to imagine what's happening right now as Shay Cash is in complete control of John Steele. but the fans are firmly behind the #1 contender right now. He's really grown into a fan favorite recently. You never would have thought with the way he's come up.
For sure. I mean, he showed up with, a chip on his shoulder and a hair across his ass. But one thing that we can say about John Steele, he is true and he is authentic to himself.
I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Never say die. And look at him go. Throwing forearms and a drop kick. Got the big man staggered in the corner. Going back to that strike-based offense that has served him so well.
John Steele ragdolled over that top rope. Manages to hang on. Still in this fight, though.
Great athleticism by John Steele, but the straight-up power of Shane Cash yet again. Choke slam caught off the top rope into the cover. Now having to hook the leg, but look at John Steele still able to kick out.
That was after a very deep stack right there. If you notice, he had both legs and he had him wrapped up really tight.
Shane Cash thought he had that well in hand, like he had his hand across the throat of John Steele for that choke slam. But by the hand of God, somehow John Steele able to get his hand up, his shoulder up to keep this matchup alive, and now able to get his elbow up into the jaw of Shay Cash, as well as a boot. Doing a great job creating separation as he ascends to the middle.
He missteps. Shay Cash bucks. He holds him by the ankle here. What they've got in mind. Oh!
I think John Steele might have countered that Spybuster into a DDT. Certainly did. Does he have the big man down? No, it's still not over. That was very close to John Steele picking up what could be considered an upset over the much larger opponent. But he's fired up now. Feels that he could maybe put this away with one last big maneuver.
More elbows to the brainstem from Shay Cash. Goes for that spinning back fist. He misses big. And John Steele, with a combination of his own, sends the big man into the ropes.
This is what he's got to do. He's got to stack up offense. And now he's got him up. Stacked on the shoulders. Death Valley driver into the cover. And that's it. John Steele able to use the momentum of Shay Cash to get him up on the shoulders for that Death Valley driver and drop him right down on the neck. Put the big man down and build huge momentum going into his championship match next month at Spectacle.
Big victory by John Steele just when it seemed as if he might be limping out of this matchup. No, my friends, he will be walking tall into Spectacle as our #1 contender, like my confidant just said. Folks, don't you go anywhere. We have got another matchup on tap for you. We'll see you in a minute.